Our protagonist is Johnny, a 25-year-old guy who suffers from a weird disease. Whenever he sees a beautiful lady, he gets a nosebleeds due to involuntary arousal. This makes him feel humiliated, and he sees it as a major problem to establishing a meaningful, long-term relationship. In the next scene, we are introduced to his mother. She's in full nagging mode, asking her son to get his life together because he'll be 25 this year. She is concerned that his lust would overcome him and he will end up getting a lady pregnant, so she offers him contraception to reduce the danger. We meet Prince, a confident and skilled dessert business owner who also happens to be Johnny's boss. As the company's planning director, Johnny is given the task of finding and convincing Mary, a well-known baking goddess, to serve as the primary instructor of their baking lab because their last one was poached. Mary also happens to be 15 years older than him. After seeing her videos, Johnny's heart raced and his nose started to bleed. He fears that he cannot manage. In the next scene, he visits her, and when he sees her, the attraction is instant. He instantly turns into a clumsy idiot, saying the wrong things and bleeding heavily from his nose. He is embarrassed by his own actions, so he quickly creates an excuse and departs. We cut to a session with his therapist, where he confesses his attraction to Mary and is taken aback at her effect on his psyche. His therapist said that this is normal, and most likely something real. In another scene, Mary is on the call with her clearly hormonal friend with a hyperactive imagination, Meng, and she confesses her that this meeting made an impact on her and that she feels oddly attracted to him as well. In case you didn't realize, Meng is Johnny's mother, a fact that neither of them are aware of. A short while later, Mary is teaching her first baking class at her new job, and students are leaving the class in the middle of it, since there isn't any eye candy to keep them there. In an effort to keep them there, Johnny improvises, slides in while just wearing an apron and shorts, and presents himself as eye candy. The class runs smoothly, with Mary and Johnny working together to keep the students interested. After the lesson, Mary thanks him for his assistance, and they are freely interacting. He shyly wipes it aside and glances at her in affection. To his astonishment, he did not bleed from the nose. Is she the cure? We see a series of flashbacks that depict a part of his childhood recollections. We learned that his affinity to women began with a chance encounter with an unknown woman who offered him a macaroon and whose perfume he found intoxicating. He tells her that when he grows up, he will marry her. Back in the present, Meng and Mary are hanging out at a cafe when Mary expresses her skepticism of Johnny's feelings and claims that their age difference forbids them from being together. Meng loudly suggests that Mary sleeps with him to figure out if her feelings for him are real or not, causing an awkward silence in the cafe. Mary quickly goes for a meeting, leaving Meng alone with her boiling hormones. We see Mary meeting up with her ex-husband, who happens to be Johnny's therapist, and there's a short silence as he stares at her for a bit before commenting that she looks good, giving off the air of a wise woman. Mary is flattered and blushes, believing it is an indication that he still has affection for her. She is jolted back to reality when a stunning young lady in her 20s enters the room and sits down by her ex-husband, whom he introduces to Mary as his girlfriend, Kelly. Mary looked to be hoping for a sinkhole to emerge beneath her at that very time. She quickly gathers herself and gives her best wishes to the couple. She makes an excuse to depart, and he offers to send her home. Johnny was riding his bike when he saw Mary getting into a car. He immediately follows them in his wake. As soon as it is revealed that her ex-husband wanted Mary to convince his daughter to agree to his third marriage to Kelly, she erupts in righteous rage and labels him a selfish bastard. She is not mistaken. She expresses her jealousy of him marrying for the third time and claims that she is not missing out because she has a new boyfriend with whom she is very happy. In the midst of attempting to call Johnny, he rides up in front of them on his bike. Both the therapist and Johnny realized this as she wished them well before departing. Johnny gives her a ride on his bike back home, and that same night, they started to make out. Mary interrupts their kissing, feeling bad that she is much older than him and, in some ways, taking advantage of him. Johnny reassures her that he doesn't care about her age and that he still likes her even though she's 60. The next morning, after a night of pleasure, she is awakened by a phone call from her daughter, who has dropped by for an unexpected, surprise visit. Politely, she kicks Johnny out of her apartment. On his way out, he runs across Ginny, Mary's daughter, and discovers that they were once classmates. Johnny is seen at work in a love-struck day, and his boss pulls him aside to ask him about the leopard lady. He stands up for Mary, claiming that she is lovely and pure. Back at Mary's house, Ginny expresses her annoyance at her father's impending wedding by noting that his fiancée is 2 years her younger, which is, to be quite blunt, very disturbing. Ginny revealed that meeting Johnny earlier was a coincidence, and that he used to have a crush on her, with Mary appearing crestfallen and stunned by the revelation. At the baking class, Mary deliberately keeps a distance from Johnny, refusing his assistance and acting rudely. Her abrupt shift in behavior hurts Johnny, but his coworkers pushed him to keep going, to step up his efforts, and to be even more persistent. Throughout the day, we see him sending Mary a number of SMS while she resists the urge to reply. The struggle is real. The lack of response causes Johnny to appear rather discouraged, but once more, his coworkers come to his aid and advise him to watch a couple of Hollywood films they have chosen that have happy endings. He runs over to Mary's house, as they do in those cliched Hollywood movies, and when Ginny answers the front door, he kisses her without looking. He is perplexed by her appearance, and she shyly informs him that she is staying with her mother, Mary, and that she would be returning shortly. When he realizes that Mary is the lady he made a promise to marry as a kid, he runs to meet her halfway. When he eventually catches up with her, he recalls that encounter, claims to have meant what he said about marrying her, and confesses his love for her. Mary finally gives in, surrendering to her feelings for him, and the couple is seen spending and enjoying their time together. Later on, we see Johnny getting some wonderful news from his mother. He has been accepted into an Italian cooking school. He makes preparations to inform Mary about this, delighted to involve her in his future plans. Back at Mary's house, Ginny tells her that she is perplexed by Johnny's sudden kiss and requests her advice. Without realizing it was Johnny, Mary claims the kiss was a blatant sign of his emotions for Ginny. She also makes fun of Mary by questioning whether she has a new guy because of all the mysterious calls she has been receiving. She promises Mary that she won't oppose since, unlike her scumbag father, who only selects girls who are considerably younger than him, she is not like him. Mary, who was not used to being a hypocrite, could only nod in agreement. Mary and Meng catch up in their regular cafe, where Meng once more regrets the age difference and wonders if this new relationship is right for her. She is concerned that Johnny might want to have a kid, which would be difficult given that she only has a partial uterus. When Prince and his gang go in and run into Mary, things start to get out of hand. They informed her that they were hosting an event at this cafe. Meng exits the restroom and welcomes her kid. Mary and Johnny look perplexed for a single second, before understanding they are in a very embarrassing scenario, with everyone staring at them. Mary makes a feeble attempt to leave, but Johnny grabs her and introduces her to his mother as the lady he loves. Meng begins to go insane and insults Mary, telling her that she may date a younger man but not her son, because she is too old. She asks if Mary could ever swallow her dignity calling her mother, as they are only 10 years apart. She is cut off by Johnny, who declares that her remarks are cruel. Meng responds by stating him that he is the one being wounded in the situation, and reveals the shocking news that he would be departing for Italy the following month. Mary flees from the cafe, and Johnny follows her. She tells him outside that she is a coward and that, despite their age gap, she should still respect Meng as a friend and won't hurt her by being with her son. Johnny urges her to ignore what the rest of the world thinks about their relationship and to trust him to do the right thing. Mary finds his comments annoying since they are juvenile and simplistic. She does not have the time or patience to wait for him to grow up. She challenges him to show his maturity and commitment by getting married to her right away and devoting the next 40 years of his life to her. And with that, she gets a taxi, sending him chasing after her. Next, we see Johnny ruminating on his balcony. Meng approaches him from behind and says that she would not object to Mary being with him, but she adds sarcastically that their relationship won't continue long because he is soon leaving for Italy. He is enraged by her fake acceptance as she constantly referring to Mary as that woman. He tells her to show some respect by calling her Mary and that she no longer has to worry about them being together anymore. He sobs in his bedroom, with Meng listening on the other end. We see Mary at home, lost in thoughts, when the prince and princess pay her a visit, informing her that Johnny has left for Italy without saying anything, not replying to their messages, and not liking their social media posts. Regardless of what transpires between her and Johnny, Prince urges her to continue working for them as their dessert chef because she is a member of their family. She accepts, and we move to a scenario in which she is enjoying her time teaching others and rediscovering herself. After the class, Mary's nose starts to bleed and she collapses to the floor. At the hospital, she finds out that she is pregnant. She urges the prince and princess to keep this information to themselves because she is still thinking about whether or not to keep the child. She catches up with her ex-husband and tells him about his pregnancy. He appears to have undergone a personality makeover when he tells her that she is not required to give an explanation and that it is up to her to live her life as she sees fit. He also admits that he and Kelly are no longer together. At the cafe, Meng sits by herself, reflecting on recent events. She confesses to the prince and princess that she is sorry for what she did and that she wants to be Mary's reliable friend. They unintentionally reveal Mary's pregnancy, and she appears to have been struck by a sledgehammer. Without wasting a minute, she hurries off to Mary's house and demands to see her, with the prince and princess running behind her. Mary first lies to Meng about having an abortion, but Meng knows her better than she believes, since Mary has always desired a child and would never do anything so impulsive. She assures Mary that she has her support in whatever decision she chooses, and that she should speak with Johnny before making any decisions. Even if she wanted to, he is not responding to her messages. Prince recommends that they take a group picture and share it on Facebook as a way to lure him back home. Prince returns to the baking school and sees that the kitchen has been left in a shambles, leading him to believe there has been a break-in. However, Mary could smell Johnny's signature aroma in the air and knew he had returned to get her. Memories of him began to flood her mind, and she walked out into the alley in a trance. She finds him waiting for her. Johnny tells her that he promised not to return until he had captured her smell in a macaroon. He inquires as to whether she had missed him, and she begins to respond, no, to which he shows disappointment. She then continues, no day has passed without her missing him. He breaks into a huge grin, and they kiss. That was all from the video. Hope you enjoyed it.